If a teacher yells at you for zoning out, your ego might want to fight back. But that's exactly what gets you in trouble, because once you react emotionally, you've handed them the victory they were looking for. You have to lure them into a silence they can't handle. So instead, use this dark psychology method to break their confidence without saying a single aggressive word. Wait until they are completely out of breath. Once they realize their anger isn't moving you, lean back slightly and say, "You have everyone's attention now. Is this how you wanted to spend it, or can we get back to something useful?" Now notice how the rest of the class starts looking at them and not you. If a teacher yells at you for zoning out, your ego might want to fight back. If your crush calls you ugly, do not just stand there like an NPC and let them step on you. People usually get quiet and look at the floor in embarrassment, but you're just becoming the person they want you to be. They threw a hook, and by looking away, you've just swallowed it. Here is a simple psychological shift to turn their need for attention into their biggest mistake. Look them up and down slowly, as if you're inspecting a stain on a cheap carpet. Then laugh, just loud enough for the people around you to hear, and say, "I'm actually relieved. I've seen what you find attractive, and trust me, I'm glad I'm nowhere near that list." Now watch them quickly become silent because they don't control the moment anymore.
They're burned out because
If your friend exposes your secret to the whole group, you might think the best move is to defend yourself and explain everything. But that is a sign of weakness, because the moment you start explaining, you're handing them the remote control of your emotions. So instead, use this simple dark psychology move to make them regret the second they opened their mouth. First, let the silence sit for a second. Then let out a tired sigh of disappointment and whisper, "That was a lot of effort," just to get them to look at you. At least now everyone sees exactly who you are. This is where everything changes, because now they lost everyone's trust. If your crush rejects you in front of everyone, most people make the fatal mistake of looking embarrassed or trying to explain themselves. But that only makes it worse, because it shows you needed that moment to go differently. Now this is the exact moment where you either become a loser or an untouchable. So instead, use this dark psychology shift to make them regret that moment instantly. Relax your posture and keep your eyes locked on hers. Then let out a short exhale of a laugh and say, "You really need that attention, don't you? Too bad you had to waste my time to get it." Now this is where everything flips, because suddenly they're the one trying to get your attention. If your friend tries to embarrass you just to look cool, this is exactly where most people mess up. They immediately get defensive or try to confront them, but that only proves you're affected by their words. If your friend tries to embarrass you just to look cool, this is exactly where most people mess up. They immediately get defensive or try to confront them, but that only proves you're affected by their words. Instead, use this simple psychological trick to flip the whole group to your side instantly. First, give them a long, unblinking stare, as if you're waiting for them to say something actually intelligent. Then, once the silence becomes unbearable, shake your head slightly and say, "It's a shame you have to destroy a friendship just to get a reaction, but at least now I know who you really are." Now, this is where everything flips, because the person they were trying to impress is no longer laughing with them. If your friend tries to embarrass you just to look, if someone tries to copy your answers, don't panic. Most people react the wrong way. Their instinct is to hide their answers or get defensive, but that only proves you're intimidated by their presence, and that just puts you in the weaker position. So here is what you should do instead. Use the ghostwriter method. First, write down the wrong answers for the first half of the test. Once you see them confidently filling in their paper with your lies, lean in and whisper, "I'm about to fix all my mistakes now. I hope your eraser is faster than my pen." Now watch their smile slowly fade into pure panic, because they just realized their grade is now in your hands. If someone tries to copy you,
impossible.
if someone laughs at you for saying a wrong answer, most people think that blushing or correcting themselves immediately will make the laughter stop. But that only feeds their ego. You are just giving them permission to treat you like a victim. If someone laughs at you for that, if someone laughs that immediately will make the laughter stop. But that only feeds their ego. You are just giving them permission. If a bully pulls your chair and makes you fall in front of the class, never start getting up immediately or shouting. That will only make you look even more pathetic and out of control, because your anger is the prize. they are looking for. Here is a simple dark psychology shift to trap them in their own game. Stay on the floor for exactly 3 seconds. Don't move at all. Just look up at them with a quiet, unimpressed look. Then say, "I didn't realize you were that desperate for my attention." That's what you had to do to feel noticed? Now here is the most important part. While you're still on the ground, give them a tiny smirk, because now it shows it didn't even leave a scratch on you. If a bully pulls your chair and makes you fall, if your teacher catches you on your phone during class, don't panic or hide it away. This is how most people mess up, because by rushing to hide it, you're admitting guilt without saying a single word. Instead, flip the pressure back on them by using this dark psychology trick. Use the intellectual audit method. Put the phone down slowly, then give them a calm, almost concerned look and say, "Actually, I was just fact-checking what you said because it didn't sound right, so I decided to verify it myself." Now the tables are turned. You've just put their intelligence on trial because they can't get mad at you for wanting to be accurate. If your teacher catches you on your phone during class, don't panic or hide it away. This is how most people mess up, because by rushing to hide it, you're admitting guilt without saying a single word. Instead, flip the pressure back on them by using this dark psychology trick. Use the intellectual audit method. Put the phone down slowly, then give. If a teacher tries to humiliate you in front of the whole class, do not react with anger or embarrassment. That's exactly the reaction they're hoping for. Instead, use this dark psychology move to make them regret ever opening their mouth. Use the silent trap method. Look them in the eyes and stay silent for exactly 4 seconds. Let the whole class feel the awkwardness. Then, ask in a calm, neutral voice, "Do you feel more powerful now that you've said that?" Or if you want to make them look stupid, give them a slow, cold stare and say, "I expected a mentor, not a bully." Now watch them fumble for their next sentence while the room realizes who the real adult is. If a teacher tries to humiliate,
Did you know?
if someone makes a joke about you that you don't like, do not try to laugh it off. That is a fatal mistake. You're just telling them that your self-respect is for sale and they just bought it for a cheap laugh. If you want to make them look pathetic instead, use this dark psychology trick. Lock your eyes onto theirs and stay completely calm. Look at them with a boring, almost pitying exhaustion. Then, whisper loud enough for everyone to hear, "I don't get it. Can you explain it to me?" Now something interesting happens, because the joke dies once they have to justify their own insult. Let the silence suffocate them until they can't breathe. If someone makes a joke, if your parents ask if you're lying, do not try to prove you're innocent. That only makes them doubt you even more. If you want to win, you have to stop explaining and start manipulating. So instead, use these 2 hidden psychological methods to make them regret doubting you. Now pay close attention. Give them a cold, steady stare and let the silence stretch until it's uncomfortable. Then say, "It must be very exhausting to always look for a lie instead of just listening to the truth." Or say, "If you've already decided I'm lying, what's the point?" This catches them off guard, because now they are the ones who have to justify why they are being unfair to you.
Yo, driver!
If someone asks to copy your homework, do not just hand it to them or start making up lies about why you can't. That just shows you are afraid of them. Instead, use this simple dark psychology move to shut them down without making a single enemy. Give them a long, silent look like you're disappointed in their lack of effort and say, "I'd let you, but I used a unique method the teacher hasn't seen yet, so just ask the person behind me instead." And if they continue to harass you, shut it down permanently by saying, "I value my time too much to keep having this conversation. If you can't do the work, that's your problem to solve, not mine. Now turn your back and leave them with the silence they deserve." If someone bullies your friend, do not raise your voice to defend them. That's a sign of weakness, because it shows you're playing by their rules. Instead, use this dark psychology move to make the bully feel like a small child in front of everyone. Walk up to them calmly and stop just close enough to make them uncomfortable. Once they stop talking, give them a slow, pitying smile and say, "Are you finished? It's honestly embarrassing to watch a grown person act like this." Now this is where you trap them, because if they try to say anything else, you can completely shut them down by saying, "If you're done performing, we can all get back to acting like adults." Then walk away while they are still processing what you said. If someone bullies, if your parents yell at you for coming home late, most people's first instinct is to start making excuses. That is a huge mistake, because you are just handing them the guilt on a silver platter, and now you have given them permission to tell you off. Instead, use this simple psychology trick to shut down their aggression instantly. Now pay close attention. Walk inside and maintain steady eye contact without saying a word. Then give them a little smirk and say, I'm honestly so grateful that you stayed up to make sure I'm safe. Thank you for being so understanding tonight. Now watch what happens, because by saying this, you're trapping them in a psychological paradox. And instead of giving them something to attack, you give them something they didn't expect. If your parents want to check your phone, do not panic or try to grab it back. That is a big mistake, because the moment you react with stress, you're basically telling them that there's a secret worth finding. Instead, use this dark psychology trick to shatter their sense of control. Let them scroll for a second while you watch them with total indifference, because when you look confident, they start questioning their suspicion. Now listen carefully, slowly lean in, and whisper, "I hope you find what you're looking for. If my life is the only thing making yours interesting right now, I don't mind sharing." Now, the whole situation shifts, because they're the ones standing there feeling awkward, holding a phone that proves nothing but their own insecurity. If your parents If someone laughs at your old YouTube videos to make you feel embarrassed, do not confront them. This is where most people fail. They react with anger, giving them the reaction they want. That's the worst thing you can do. Instead, use these 2 secret psychology methods to escape the embarrassment. When they finish laughing, act as if you didn't even hear the joke. Wait for the silence to become awkward. Then give them a cold, unimpressed smile and say, "I'm sorry. Was that supposed to be a joke? Or are you just that obsessed with my history?" Now they just revealed they spend hours digging through your life just for a second of attention. And if they don't stop, say, "Crazy how I've climbed the whole mountain and you're still at the base camp staring at my old footprints." Now this is where you win, because they're the one chasing attention, not you. If someone laughs at your old If your parents shout at you for a bad grade at school, do not roll your eyes and do not argue. That's exactly what an immature kid would do. By raising your voice back, you only feed their anger. Instead, use these 2 dark psychology methods to end the argument instantly. First, wait for them to take a breath, then look them in the eyes and say in a quiet, concerned voice, "This isn't about my future, it's about your own anxiety. I'll be in my room when you're ready to talk like an adult." Now here is the second move, the power of the exit. Don't wait for a reaction. Just turn around and walk away while they're still processing what you said. By staying calm, you've just proven you're more mature than the people raising you. If someone reminds the teacher about the homework everyone else forgot, stay calm and do not get angry. Reacting emotionally is how you lose instantly, because it makes you look immature. Here is a dark psychology trick to make them think twice before doing it again. Instead of joining the class in groaning, do the opposite. Look directly at them with a pitying smile. Now lean back in your chair and say just loud enough for them to hear, "I hope that 5 seconds of validation was worth losing everyone's respect." It's a bold trade, and if you want to take it further, wait for the exact moment they try to defend themselves and simply whisper, "It's okay. I actually feel sorry that your self-worth is tied to a homework assignment." By doing this, you've effectively erased their social status in a single sentence. If someone chooses the urinal right next to you in an empty bathroom just to make you feel uncomfortable, do not get nervous and do not look away. That's exactly the reaction they want to see. Instead, use this psychological shift to reclaim your space. Stay perfectly calm and finish what you're doing without rushing. Before you leave, turn your head slightly, look them in the eyes for a split second, and say in a completely bored voice, "I didn't realize you needed a tutorial, but you could have just asked." This is where the game changes. By saying this, you've turned their invasion of privacy into a sign of their own insecurity. Now let the silence do the work. Instead of you feeling uncomfortable, they're the one second-guessing their decision.